This guy is nuts. Is he really making daily recordings of his possible divorce and releasing it as a podcast? They both cheated on each other? She's making 6 figures and still doesn't contribute to any joint endeavors financially? Why is she still with him? Why is he still with her? I can't wait for the next episode. This helps me be a better wife. So this is how men think. I hate my husband less now. I understand my wife more now. These are some of the listener comments to the Divorce Diaries podcast. All over the map, I know. These anonymous accounts of events should resonate with anyone that has been married, is married, or is preparing for marriage, and helps couples avoid pitfalls as they might prepare for marriage. Entire seasons are released on Patreon weeks before anywhere else. At Divorce Diaries Podcast Patreon page. Link in description. Now for today's episode.
Hey, Divorce Diaries. Everyone who listens, I appreciate you. Just want to let you know something that don't really have a topic for today, but I want to talk about what happened over the last few days. My ex-wife I'm in that stage of, I guess, like everyone is telling me, all the things that she's doing these things because she still wants to be with you and still likes you, but she doesn't know how. And she doesn't realize that everything that she's doing is going to be pushing you away. I appreciate those sentiments. It feels like nothing but hurting to me. My ex-wife has met with my one daughter, and she's made a point to kind of speak loudly to let me know that she's getting her name removed from my body, her body. She had a tattoo of my name, and she's letting her daughter know, who's only, who's not even in double digits yet of age, but she's so happy to tell her daughter that she's removing, the daughter that lives with me now, that she's removing her father's name from her body because she's so done with him. She's not realizing that this daughter likes her father. The other daughter is much older. She's in her mid-late teens, and she's believed everything that my wife has ever said about me, and she's forgotten everything that I've ever done that was good. And I understand that. I understand what frustration I felt every time I watched a political presidential running happening. I watched the marketing from one side to the other. I watched Barack Obama market himself, and I watched the country hate him just to hate him, and the country love him just to love him. I watched Donald Trump run his campaign. I watched the country hate him just to hate him and love him just to love him. I understand how, if you speak in the right ways to the proclivities of various people, people will just fall in line. If you tell people what they want to hear, i.e. a man with a game with women, if he spits the right game, panties will drop. If he has the right swagger, panties will drop. If he creates the right vibe. If a woman blinks her eyes and makes the right noises towards the guy, he will open his wallet or his life or his home. There's so many things that will happen with everyone in every scenario. And my daughter, unfortunately, as well as my oldest, who's an adult now, but they've chosen to hate me because they've chosen to believe and think that I am, in fact, the enemy. And speaking with my sister-in-law, maybe as you listen to this, she'll be my ex-sister-in-law by that point. But my sister-in-law, she's just disgusted every time that she learns of the things that are happening, because no one knows that we talk. And we keep in touch about things because we share, my soon-to-be ex-toxic wife is her toxic sister. So we're able to commiserate over because she really loves, and I'm sorry, she really knows her sister. I mean, my goodness, they spent their whole lives together. And I really know my soon-to-be ex-wife. I'm over 20 years I've known her. So people are funny when they think, hey, that's my daughter, I know her. Yeah, you know her to a point. The point where there was that parental child boundary and the child stopped telling the parent everything they wanted to know or anything they wanted to know, and they began hanging out with friends and sharing more with friends than they were with them, or they got into a relationship and they shared a lot more with their boyfriend or fiance than they did with you. It's just very interesting watching how people move and how much they think they know someone. But trust me, a spouse, if they've got their wits about them, a spouse really knows their other spouse because they've seen them with no makeup, naked, at their best, at their worst, at their most vulnerable. They've seen how they've handled various types of adversity when the kids don't perform, when they're not doing well at work, when something unexpected isn't happening, when their money is right where it needs to be, when their money is not where it needs to be. There's a lot of things that happen. Yeah. We're easily tricked, easily duped. And having someone like my ex-wife that I can talk to someone about it. The people that know her are my children, which is interesting because I'm watching two of my children say, I don't care what mom's done, you're the devil. I don't care if that's worse, you're the devil. We hate you together, so that makes us feel really good. It's the painful side of it, I'll say. The painful side. Because my daughter is most certainly going to need her father. I'm the only man in the world that naturally will not be attracted in that way to my daughter. So I'll be able to give her the unbiased fatherly advice or guidance or something that she needs. I'll be able to be some sort of a stable rock for her to lean on, and I don't want anything in return. Other than me, she won't have another man like that in her life. And same thing goes for my son. There's no one that's going to really invest in him the same way a father would. And he may go the rest of his life resisting this connection that's there. It'll be a very frustrating journey for him because I got a piece of crap dad too. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a piece of crap, but I've got a piece of crap dad. But I by no means shut the door on my father when he was trying to get through. When he was trying to make a positive impact in my life, I admitted then when I was 9 and my parents split up, and 11 when they split up, and all the way through their tumultuous divorce that took a really long time. There's so much that I was able to openly say, I want my dad in my life. I wish he was there. I wish he could do better. And I'll accept him as he is. Oh, geez, that was really painful, but I'll accept him as he is even with that. Oh, shit, that was painful. Oh, I'll accept him as he is even with that. That's one way to be, I guess. So talking to my sister-in-law and her learning of my wife's foolishness with the whole showing my youngest her tattoo, look at me removing your dad's name. I'm empowered. And she's also dating. So she's taking my daughter around new men that she's with. And my wife will continue to say little things like, said this guy's name Julian. She was like, hey, do you remember Julian from high school? We were in the same, I won't say what we were in, but we were in the same sort of program together. Of course I know him. Why are you bringing him up to me? We don't speak, but you wanted to make sure that I know that you're communicating with a man, and not only a man that I know. A man that you know that I know. You're an attractive girl, and let's face it, no man is going to talk to you if he doesn't want something from you. No man. And since you're so hell-bent on letting me know what's happening in your private life, I don't let her know anything that's going on in my private life. I don't want her to know I wish I didn't have a private life in the past with my soon-to-be ex. But she wants me to know what's happening in her private life. She wants to tell me that, oh yes, your daughter's in the gym and she's consistent. She just told me yesterday she's consistent in the gym. And in fact, she's even getting compliments on how consistent she is. Hoping that I would say, oh, by who? So my wife can tell me about the personal trainer that she's seeing at the gym. She knows that there was genuine love there on my side. And the sad part about all of this is watching her try to exploit that vulnerability she knows I have. All you husbands that are out there that still love your wives, still love your ex-wives, it's okay. I had to tell myself that it's okay too. It's okay for me to still love her. It's okay for me to still want the best for her. It's okay for me to hate her. It's okay for me to not think of her. It's okay for me to discuss her in every one of my therapy sessions because I'm trying to decouple myself from a Stockholm syndrome-like codependent relationship with a narcissist. I love her so much, and when I think back to, hey, how did she show her love for me? And here's another relationship tip. Not that I should be giving them because I'm getting a divorce, but I could say, hey, I cook for my wife every night. That's great. And I could tout that around and say, look at all the times that I've cooked for my wife. I've cooked for her, damn it. I'm a great husband because I've cooked for her. And my wife could say, hey, would you mind folding the clothes this one time for me because I'm tired? And if I gave her shit for that, well, no, I can't. I've cooked tonight and I've done this, I've done that, and I cook every night. And she could say, this is what I love. This is how you know if someone loves you or not. It's like, hey, I never asked you to cook, but I'm asking you to do this. Can you do this? And if you say, no, I'm not doing that. I don't know how to do that. I don't like the idea of doing that. I don't want to do that. Whatever it is. It's really funny. Things happen that way. Because I've said plenty of times over the course of my marriage, I really want this, and I really would like it if you stop doing this. Could you help me understand why you continue to do this if this is the result and this is the outcome? Can you please help me get it? It's just very interesting watching the differences. And when you think that someone is showing you love, it's like, well, they're just doing that because they want to. They're doing that out of the kindness of their heart. Even if it is something like they're cooking and they're standing over the stove and slaving away in the kitchen, it may seem good, it may feel good, but not necessarily. The true test is when they know you would like something and that's not something they would naturally do. Are they willing to naturally do it? So yeah, my wife works less than a mile away from my current residence with my daughter. She's made a few efforts to try to come and see her in, let's see, we're almost at 2 months now at the time of me recording this. She's made a few attempts, less than 3, about 3 maybe, to actually see my daughter. And she threw some shade at me over the phone the other day. Yeah, I don't live with her, so I don't really know what's going on, and I don't know who she's with. And she doesn't ask a question. Hey, are you seeing anybody? I just want to know, is my daughter seeing people, or I would maybe answer, but I'm not going to because it's always something passive aggressive and negative. It's always something passive aggressive and negative, and I really don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like those games. I don't like people being passive aggressive. And I used to play into that with my wife all the time, which I'm sure she's having a really difficult time adjusting to now. Why isn't he communicating? Why am I not getting the rise out of him that I'm used to getting? Why isn't he reacting in such negative ways? Why isn't he reacting so frustrated? Well, I'm not going to. I'm not going to anymore because there's never been a benefit in me reacting or engaging with my wife on almost any level. So now that we're divorcing and she's trying to take everything that I've worked really hard from me, for herself, I'm just like, wow, I don't want anything to do with you ever again. Nothing. My wife is very toxic, and oh yeah, this was something that happened on Saturday. I'm checking I still have my oldest on my cell phone plan, and I was on the app like once last month and once this month, and I just happened just checking the bill balance, and I noticed that it said there's been no data used on my son's line this past month. And I clicked the month before, just one click, and it's like, yeah, there's been no activity on that either. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I called up the cell phone company and I said, hey, when's the last time there was activity on this particular number on my family plan? They said, oh, yeah, there's been no activity since December. And last my father and I, my son and I, talked, he said that I'd be off the plan by the end of the year. So maybe he had, and he just hadn't told me because we aren't speaking. But that's what happened. And I said to my wife, like, hey, the cell phone number that we know my son to have, there hasn't been any activity on it, but you guys are talking, so I'm pretty sure that he has a new phone number. So I went on and canceled that, but I was going to talk to you about switching him and the daughter that lives with me onto your plan, just switching them because she lives with me. That makes sense. She's not talking to my soon-to-be ex-wife, and my son is not talking to me. Total family in shambles. And I'm like, yeah, is that okay? And she's like, oh, okay. And I just reiterated really quickly. I'm like, so does our son have a new cell phone number? I'm pretty sure he doesn't want you to tell me what it is, but does he have a new cell phone number? She's like, well, I'm not going to tell you that. And I said, well, if his sister wants to reach out to him, she won't be able to if she's only got the old number. Well, if she wants whatever number I have, she can reach out to me and I can give it to her. I'm like, okay, that's really toxic and really messed up. But that's, if you guys were ever wondering, that's the person that I'm divorcing right now. The person that I used to be married to. Hopefully by the time this is recorded. I just said, hey, does our son have a different cell phone number? You don't have to tell me what it is because I'm sure he doesn't want you to. But does our son have a different cell phone number? And she would not say yes. That is the level of toxicity that I was married to. I cannot wait to put her in my rearview mirror. I watch my son not communicate with her unless he wants something. He wants us to co-sign for something. I don't know what the relationship is with my daughter because my daughter's learning to be promiscuous, probably from my soon-to-be ex. Probably because my soon-to-be ex doesn't have any problem putting herself on display for the attention of men and their validation. And unfortunately, my teen daughter is living with her, but hates me. So my hands are kind of tied. I can't really save her from that. I can't really protect her from that. I can't really guide her. I can just make peace with it and try to eventually, kind of move on so I can sleep well. And that's really sad. Because my daughter's got so much anger in her toward me, and she was taking a lot of it out on my daughter. I think that she's probably really upset at the fact that I think she knows and understands that she has accepted a lot of lies from my wife, but I don't know if she knows how she can pull it all back. I think she thinks that I might not ever forgive her or her anger is justified. I guess I just want you to know, honey, if you ever listen to this, the thing you did was pretty fucked up. You know it. But I'll never close my door on you. And my daughter, I love you. And I was put here to protect you. I take it very seriously. I will always take it and you very seriously. And I'll always be here for you. If there's anything you need, reach out. Let's talk. And I'm looking forward to that day. I just know now, though, I can't hold my breath. I have to try my best not to lose sleep and just move forward with an open door. Just move forward with an open door. Yeah. person that would willingly want their children separated from their other parent. It's a very interesting breed.
Wow, that was the Divorce Diaries podcast. The Daily Saga will continue tomorrow. The full season's episodes are on Patreon now. Subscribe for early access. Click the Patreon link in the description. Hopefully these entries help our anonymous recorder as a form of his own personal therapy. That's his hope and his intention. Will these recordings of life's curveballs lead this family to the best resolution in the end? We'll keep listening. New episodes are released daily on all podcast players, but all episodes are available on Patreon at Divorce Diaries Podcast Patreon page. Until next time.